Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm PLK, and if you thought that your World of Warcraft adventures were intense, wait till you hear about the legends that made World of Warcraft a battleground of pure mayhem. From a gnome rogue who gunned his way into the lore for 14 relentless years, to airborne assassins dropping in from the skies and even quest items so bugged that they crushed entire servers. This story is wild, unpredictable, and downright epic. Stick around, because in the next few minutes we'll deep dive into really interesting stuff which were happening with the World of Warcraft. Let's get right into the madness. Trust me, you won't want to miss any second after you will subscribe. Here. Thank you. In World of Warcraft, rogues have always been associated with mischief, stealth, and opportunistic kills. In the early days of vanilla, a lot of unsuspecting players found themselves repeatedly ambushed by these masters of stealth. Rogues could simply vanish when they threatened or strike without warning if someone stayed too far from the safety of allies. Stories circulated about the infamous Gankers, who terrorized entire zones for weeks or even months or years, but few ever compared to the legendary persistence of the single gnome rogue Modex. Modex, the 14 years ganking marathon. Modex wasn't known for being exceptionally skilled at PvP, and his name seldom appeared on the high-ranked arena leaderboards. Yet, if you were questing alone on his server, especially in the early days of the Burning Crusade of Wrath of the Lich King, you'll almost certainly hear someone say, "Watch out, Modex is around," and with a good reason. He dedicated himself to relentlessly ganking other players every single day, pouring countless hours into roaming popular quest hubs and choke points. Spots like Nagrand became notorious kill zones. Anyone trying to do quests or farm mobs risked being ambushed at a low health. The moment you engaged the enemy mob, Modex would appear, finishing you off before you had a chance to defend yourself. Even though he didn't have any flashy PvP achievements, the community always knew his name. If you saw him on your combat log, you braced for another respawn timer. Players even occasionally form entire raid groups to hunt him down. With the army of allies, it should have been an easy task, but just as soon as things turned dangerous for him, Modex would vanish. Later, he'd pop up somewhere else, ready to prey one more unsuspecting victim. And forums was just blasted by his presence. Everybody was talking about this guy. Over the years, his kill count climbed into the hundreds of thousands, somewhere around 450,000 honorable kills by the time he slowed down. That's an average about 90 kills every day for 14 years. Imagine that. Whether you admire the dedication or despise the frustration he caused, it's undoubtedly an impressive thing. Because of this constant, low-effort ganking, Modex is remembered as someone who never gave people a break. He'd accept gold to target specific players or entire guilds and literally make their lives miserable. Even expansions like Mist of Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor didn't stop him. He'd just pick a new hotspot, gank everything in sight, and vanish when organized retaliation arrived. Only when the war mode rolled out in the later expansions, he finally faded from the everyday headlines. Still, to those who lived through his era, he remains a chilling memory of how a single dedicated ganker can define a server's PvP culture. Imagine that. And it was so many years ago. If this guy will appear right now, imagine he will stream his ganks. I mean, this dedication and effort could make a fortune. The danger of the skies, airborne gankers. As expansion marched on, Blizzard introduced flying mounts, and it was a super controversial topic. It was just two big sides. You either love it or you hate it. It was intending to make travel simpler and more expensive, but some PvP players saw flying as the way for victims to escape fights at the first sign of the danger. See a red nameplate, take a flight, and disappear into the clouds. Naturally, a few enterprising troublemakers found way to exploit even this freedom. In the Burning Crusade, we started hearing about the air gankers, players who would dive bomb from their mounts into unsuspecting travelers. They'd fly directly above the target, dismount, and attempt to kill their midair with a burst of damage. Sometimes the attackers would also splat to the ground. Other times they used the abilities like slow fall, levitate, or special items to cushion their landing. Rogues specialized in this, by combining their high burst damage with the Shadow Step and finishing with the parachute. Although it happened in TBC, it wasn't widespread. Wrath of the Lich King took it to a new level. Several groups of different servers turned their gaze upward, determined to dominate the skies of the Northrend. One rogue, Krutikov, DVR, became famous for hounding people from above just so they couldn't avoid PvP by flying away. Then there came Paladin with name Haberman, who perfected the mid-air assault near Dalaran. He knocked players off their flying mounts, watched them plummet to their death, and calmly continued his day, ranking up kills even in the northern skies. For most, flying was a conventional escape from the ground gankers like Modex, but in Northrend, if you heard the words Haberman's around, you might consider using a flight path or traveling with friends to survive those sudden aerial attacks. Imagine, that's so cool that people are trying to avoid mechanics. They are not avoiding mechanics, they're actually using the mechanics that were introduced by the developers, but they're using that as a protest, because flying mounts were against gankers. But ganks was part of the World of Warcraft culture for a long time. It's alliance and horde. You need to kill each other, right? So these people just figure out how to be on the horse, let's say, even with these new mechanics. Super cool. The Cataclysmic bug, crushing servers with the quest item. If ground gankers and airborne ambushers weren't enough, Cataclysm introduced a subtle but infamous bug that a few crafty trolls exploited to bring entire servers to a halt. In patch 4.0.3, Blizzard rewormed many old world zones, including the Swamp of Sorrows. One of the new quests, titled Sailing the Delta, provide a harmless looting quest item called Blessed Water Lily. Its function was really simple. Stand by some burning object, use the lily, and watch a small animation of water dousing the flames. Harmless, right? Well, not quite, because somebody discovered that the item has no cooldown. Yep, and could be spammed endlessly. By writing a quick macro that activated the item multiple times per second, player could produce a staggering amount of water animations. Individually, it looks like a mildly annoying visual effect, but collectively it caused server lag spikes, crashed players' game clients, and sometimes even toppled entire servers. One person spamming it was obnoxious. A whole group of 20 players doing it simultaneously in a busy city like Stormwind or Orgrimmar was enough to send half of the realm into the disconnect mode. People also stacked buffs to enlarge their character models. Bigger characters meant bigger water effects animations. Put several giant characters side by side, spamming the lily, and you could freeze huge groups of players in place. Clever trolls quickly realized that they could drop the auction house, a packed taverns, or a busy raid entrance, spam the lily, and watch everyone's frame rate and patience plummet. Some took it to the battlegrounds, and you can imagine what happened there, or even arenas, crushing entire matches. Naturally, Blizzard responded with bans for those abusing the bug. The original whistleblower who revealed how it works received 24 hours ban, while those who did it on an extreme scale, causing full server crashes, likely face longer suspensions. For Blizzard, it was a lesson in how one tiny oversight, a cooldown-free quest item, could be twisted in a server-killing exploit. For players caught in an ensuring house, it became yet another unpredictable horror story in the World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft history is packed with creative, cunning, and sometimes downright maddening ways that players have found to inconvenience or outright ruin the days of others. Whether it's a rogue who commit or over-dedicate a non-stop world PvP ganking, a paladin who turns the sky into a death trap, or trolls abusing the seemingly harmless quest item to crash the entire servers. This example shows how the grand fantasy world can become a battleground of unexpected drama. So next time you're flying peacefully over the Northrend or trying out old quests in Cataclysm zones, keep an eye on your surroundings. You never know when someone like Modex might appear to the horizon. And that's why we like the truly MMO worlds, because of the capabilities and these historical stories and its depth. I hope you like this video, guys. If you want more videos like that about World of Warcraft or other games, comment below. Please subscribe to the channel, we're growing super fast. Love you guys, and like the video. My name is PLK. I will see you next one. Bye.